Mic check. So supposedly I'm finally live. I've been working on getting live for a minute here. I can see the chat. I should go type. I'm gonna go type something in the chat real quick. Okay, so this is me testing out the new live streaming setup on YouTube's own live streaming setup without using a third party, which so far the Chuck P, what's up, Chuck? Chuck says no sound. You sure you can't hear me? Can you hear me now that I'm near the microphone, Chuck? Sound good, pick good. I like to hear that, guys. I really do. So I've been working on this little piece for a while. I can't remember where I got this, but the first time I actually pulled this off of the wall, I did notice that it looked like the center of a butterfly. That's one of the first things that's sort of easy to notice. On it has the three pieces, and it would really look good with some silver or gold wings or something like that. And I've been working on it here a little bit, here and there. And there was one spot while I was working on it previous to this, because it's right now cut down to a 600 finish. Get the water off it, you can see it a little bit better. Now get the water on it, and you can see what you can see once it's all polished. And there was a little spot of color that poked up right here on it. And then that color disappeared as I kept working the stone. Now I kept working the whole body of the stone, which was the mistake. As soon as that little area of really bright color showed up, I should have stopped working that area. Now along these other sections, there is some, let me move this light a little bit better. So there we go. That's better. Right here, there is these other sections that look like they're going to have green and purple showing up, and I'm really close to that color coming out of the top. And so I want to polish to that color. Yet I'm hoping that there's another color bar in the area where I missed the color, where I went beyond it. And so I'm going to work that with a 600. Chuck P says, sorry, it was his browser. That's all right, dude. I've accidentally had my stuff muted before too. So I'm going to work this section right here. And I've been working on getting this thing set up all day long. This setup that you see right here. I've had nonstop problems understanding how this software was going to work and getting it to where it would work properly. And it's all kinds of funky. We had 10 people. We're losing people fast. They must have been thinking I was going to be doing something else besides working on a stone. So this one area right here, I'm hoping that this bronze will end up turning into some really nice color. That's what I'm hoping. And I'm not wanting to work any of the rest of the body because I don't want to lose the really great green that's going to pop up as I finish the polishing. So I'm just going to work this one section with the hard burr. And then when I'm done working this one section with the hard burr, I'm going to move on to my soft Nova points. I wonder if I can zoom in just a little bit more without screwing things up too bad. It's a little bit difficult to have the camera set up over top of my shoulder. There, you can see that purple coming through now. You see the green and the purple that's in there that I don't want to lose. It's a little bit difficult getting the angle of the camera over my shoulder and not blocking it while working on stuff. And this stone was so long that I originally tried dopping it just in the center with one stick, and it kept popping off. So then I decided to dop it with 3 sticks side by side, and that seems to have worked really well. So let's see if I can finish this gemstone here in a relatively fair amount of time. And maybe we'll see a finished piece here tonight, because it's got a lot of work into it before now. But I don't want to lose any more color bars. I really like the color bar that looks like it's going to show up at the final polish. And I totally have a TV set up right in front of me so I can see what's on my computer. I can't affect anything or type anything, but I can totally talk to you guys. And this is a good testing for other types of live streams. Feel free to ask any questions, and when I look up at the screen and see what you guys are saying, I will happily respond. I tell you what, carving fire agate is one of the most stressful things I have ever done as a hobby, or I guess hobby is the right word. I definitely don't carve it enough for it to be a full-time gig. Chuck P wants to know what kind of drill and bits I'm using. Well, I'm not using a drill, Chuck. I'm using my Prodigy. Whoops, wrong way. I'm using my Prodigy flex shaft that I got for like $100. And then I'm not using my quick release because I sat the quick release in a toolbox for a while, and then it ended up totally seizing up and rusting out because the water that we have in the area I'm at, it has a lot of I don't know whether it's just hard or what you would call it, but it rusts out really, really easily. It makes stuff rust really easily. Not quite as bad as if you lived in a highly salt area, but if you leave a car where any of the groundwater will get on it, or even the water from the tap, it'll end up rusting out pretty quick. I don't want to lose the shape of this thing, but I tell you what, I'm really worried about going past the color on any other area. I want the tip of this to only touch the areas that I'm trying to get past the brown on. This top layer of color, it looks like it could be really, really great, yet at the same time, it's really sort of thin. And I believe I got this piece from, I think I got this piece from Oatman. I think this is one of the Oatman pieces I got. Hey, Modern Prospector. Yes, it has been a minute since I've been live. One of the reasons it's been a minute since I've been live is because I used to do, when I first started doing live streams with auctions and stuff, I was doing them from my phone, inside the app in my phone. And the area I'm at now, I don't have near as good of Wi-Fi as I did when I first started doing that. So I haven't even wanted to attempt that. And I ran a cord about 100 feet outside of the house I'm at now into the garage, and dug a big old trench and got some conduit and did the whole figure it out myself thing. And I ran myself a hard line so that I could be able to do stuff like this. And if anybody's interested in any fire agate, I reopened my Etsy store. It's not in this description, but it's in some other descriptions. If you go to some of the older videos, you can find the links to my Etsy store. And there is some fire agate for sale in my Etsy store. There's some super high grade and there is some low grade. Not too much mid grade yet, because I'm really, instead of just selling mid grade, I'd rather window it, because almost all of the stuff I consider mid grade, I'm pretty positive has color in it. It's just not showing it up immediately. And to tell you the truth, I should really have a mask on while doing this stuff, yet I'm working at a 600 right now, and the water's not spraying towards my face or anything like that. So I'm really not worried, probably as worried as I should be. If I was cutting opals, I would definitely have a mask on. Big deal to protect yourself from silicosis and such. Hey, Misty, Sam, how you guys doing? Andrea, holy cow, nice job. Thank you, Andrea. Modern Prospector says, can I post a link to it? You can go ahead and try and post a link, Modern Prospector. I'm not sure what it's going to do. It might not let you, because when you post actual links, sometimes a lot of people that are posting links is like links to their own stuff. So a lot of time YouTube blocks it. But yeah, feel free. Go ahead. Any help I can get, buddy. You already know. I'm not the kind of guy that's afraid to ask for help, but I am the kind of guy that only asks for help when I really feel like I need it. Yeah, this took me a little bit of time today. A lot of frustration. I've been yelling at the computer a lot. I'm not very good at figuring out computer stuff, not near as good as I'd like to be, and I get all cavemanish about stuff sometimes. I get all like, ooh, break computer, not work computer. And then 9 times out of 10, it's not that the software, the computer is not working. It's that I don't know how to make it work the way I want it to. And it's like one simple little piece of information becomes a giant frustration and a huge roadblock to me completing the tasks I have in my mind. I do think there's another color bar under this bronze that I'm working right here. And I'm only working this little section that I've gone through before, but yeah, I can see an edge of color starting to show up there. I get it close to the where these other color bars are, I'm going to switch to my Nova points, and hopefully we'll see a nice polished up green and purple butterfly center. Because I mean, see, I'm working backwards. It's totally going to be a butterfly. I mean, look at that. Like that's not the center body of a butterfly. I don't know what the heck is. This is definitely a piece that I got from Oatman. I remember exactly now when I got it, and it was out of Dawn's hole that I got this piece. And it wasn't showing any color originally. There was no color showing on it when I first pulled it out of the ground. This was out of Don's hole that was right underneath the highway right there that the BLM was giving him all kinds of hell about. Although, from what he's been telling me, the BLM, or what he had told me a couple of years ago, that the BLM was giving him all kinds of hell since the beginning, which I totally believe that because they did the same thing to me. They totally chased me out of the mine as quick as they could up there. Although they didn't chase me out of it. They stopped letting me have other people dig up there. They didn't stop me from digging though. Just to be honest about things, because I like to be honest about things. Thing about being honest about stuff is you don't have to remember any lies. I only have one camera set up. I only have one good camera to use, and this the app I'm using is the YouTube app itself right here. So I really don't have the ability to switch to like a face camera or anything. You guys are only going to be seeing what I'm working on. Chuck P, how did the samples your viewers sent you? Anything left? I don't understand the question, Chuck. How did the samples your viewers sent you? I did. Are you talking about the fire agate I've sold to people recently? I have had some of them sending me pictures of the stuff they're working on, and everybody's super happy. Misty, everything's going. It's not going well yet, although the job opportunities are looking up. I do believe I've been hired, and I go in Monday to verify that. So that's really good because I need a better, more regular income than what YouTube is providing. YouTube's not really providing any sort of income. Check, check. There we are. We're back. All right. Thanks for the heads up on the audio. Really helps me out when you guys let me know stuff like that happens, because I never would have seen it otherwise. I'm using a wireless microphone that is super awesome, and the wireless mic really gives me the ability to do this stuff like this. It was actually bought to do a DJ service with, but that sort of went up in smoke. Anyways, where was I at? Misty says she's getting static. Nothing here. Thanks. There we go. Loud and clear. All better. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate everybody letting me know. Otherwise, I would not have looked at my mic and been able to tell that it was that bad at all. Come on, little section. Give me some more green poking out. I don't want like one section of the body to end up being bronze. It's totally got the bronze on top of a little bit of green. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get the color to show up, but I don't want to end up losing any of the other color, that's for sure. "17 people in the room and only 3 of you hit the thumbs up button. Oh man, hit that thumbs up button for me real quick. Those likes on all the videos help the YouTube algorithm to share the videos to other people that might be interested in them. And even with this new job I'm going to have starting, because I'm really sure I got this new job, I still plan on, at the very minimum, posting 2 videos a week, no matter what, rain or shine. I'm going to figure it out. I know they're not going to be giving me no like 70 or 80 hours a week. So even with a 40-hour work week, I should have plenty of time to get a couple of videos out and still do stuff for my great aunt and feed the homeless on Wednesdays. Like I said, though, not everybody's homeless. Some of them have places to live, but still have problems. And my great aunt, she gets up at 4:30 in the morning every morning because she used to be a mail carrier, and she spent 20-something years getting up that early and delivering mail. So she gets up early and starts getting that food ready, and it's hot by the time of course it's hot, but she ends up having a full dinner ready for the people that we go out and serve. Tell you what, I feel like every time I get towards the edge of this color right there, where you can see that little, there you go, now you can see it. See that little lip where there's like green and then it goes like to a bronze right there that I'm highlighting? Like purple and green and then to that bronze. I feel like every time I try to get at that bronze area, I start losing more of the green and purple area. I'm like hesitant to get any closer to it. Maybe I'll just keep trying to bring it out on the edge. The hard burr will blow right through the color, whereas once I move to the Nova points will really flash it up. Hello from Arizona. Desert Hughes Design says. Jeannie's in California. And Andrea's helping me out with that like button. I really appreciate that. And Modern Prospector is giving some advice on carving, and he's totally right, but I didn't start this at a 600 grit. It didn't start at 600 grit. There's hours into this piece, way before right now, so I'm at a 600 now because I'm really close to the color, and I don't want to go past it. I mean, you guys can definitely see how close to the color I am. You see that purple showing up and the greens. I'm at the polish it stage to where I don't go too far. Thing about fire agate is it drives me crazy to carve this stuff, and I mean literally, like it's a neurotic feeling. Like oh, am I? Oh no, I'm not there yet. Go back to another grit. I have had some pieces. One of the first pieces of color I ever found was on accident. I was trying to break in some wheels on my lapidary machine that I don't own anymore. But I was trying to break in some wheels on my lapidary machine, and I grabbed a piece of fire agate that I was convinced wasn't going to have any color in it, and it was from California. And I put it on the wheels to start breaking in an 80 grit wheel. And the next thing I know, I looked down, there was purple and red and yellow. I about pooped my pants right there, realizing that I'd almost ruined a great piece of fire agate. Then after that, I took it out and started. First, I cleaned it up on the wheels a little bit more, had some lower grits, and then I carved it the rest and gave that to the wife. Sure, you can probably hear some of the disappointment in my voice as I say I gave it to the wife. Hmm. Can definitely see that divot there. Okay, instead of moving around, maybe I should just go ahead and carve the shape right there, and then I won't have so much accidental running over the colors I don't want to run over yet. It's always a question for me. What should I do next? Should I just move on? Should I keep digging? I really want to bring out that purple and green that's up on this section. It's so deep where that green is right there. I'm almost worried that if I go any farther, that I'm just going to end up losing color and losing even the bronze and just have like a brown spot instead of it even being a bronze spot. And bronze is officially still fire agate. And brown is sort of not even officially still fire agate. It's just sort of agate. But I can see that color right there. It's angular, that's for sure. Yeah, I think I might be ready to move on. What does it say? Hey, yo, Dakota's Coins and Stones. How you doing, buddy? Where does that piece of agate come from? Shane Karubi asks. I probably screwed your name up there, buddy. Sorry about that. This piece itself came from, I can't remember his last name, but it came from Don's claim at Oatman. This came out of his hole that he had put me in after I'd spent like the whole day basically adventuring around. And then he put me in his hole for a little bit, and I chipped some stuff off of the walls because I tell you what, the section that he had back when I was there, it was really hardcore. Like it was super duper hardcore. Got a light green showing up underneath that bronze right there. Thank you very much, Chuck P. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and see what this looks like and maybe go ahead and move on to a Nova point where I can really bring the shine out and get that color standing out. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I made my decision. And where's my tool at? There it is. This is only going to take me a second. You guys won't see anything on the screen, but you can still hear me. Desert Hues Designs. Anyone know where I can get some nice rainbow obsidian at a reasonable price? Only need about a quarter pound. One of my customers wants me to make an arrowhead-shaped pendant for them. Well, I cannot answer that question. Actually, that's not true. Possibly Resort Dog. He's a regular on my channel. Him and his buddy tend to usually have stuff like that. Resort Dog lives out in the Virgin Valley itself. He's one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever met about opals in general. And he's just a little bit off, like me and most other people that will be willing to live out in a crazy-ass area and dig for gems. You got to be a little bit off. Desert Hue Design says, we live at an hour from Oatman. Been wanting to check out that fire agate mine. Go see Don. He's a nice guy. I recommend him. I think he's a super swell dude. I surely do. And like I just said about my other friend, Resort Dog, just a couple of beers shy of a case. I truly believe that if most of us that are willing to live in the conditions and chase the stones the way we are. Thank you very much, Misty, if I didn't say that already. Dakota's Coins and Stones says he has some if you'd like to check it out. Mark Ritchie says he has a ton of Opal Hill stuff he gathered many moons ago. Although you guys can probably read that. I'm just telling you stuff you probably already know. Thank you, Misty. I appreciate that. I plan on keeping up the work. Definitely don't plan on giving up on the one community that's given me a lot of encouragement. That's the least I can say about my community on YouTube, man. It's funny because when I started this YouTube channel, it was sort of in a desperation mode, going through some of the exact same stuff I'm going through now, but I didn't understand so much about why I was going through some of the stuff I was. And now I actually have a much better understanding of the whys of things that I've been going through. And I can definitely place a lot of blame on myself for some of the stuff I've been going through. Yet at the same time, understanding of other people has really opened my eyes. What up, Mr. DeFabio? How you doing, buddy? All the old crew from all the constant live streams, they're back. They're like, oh my God, he's doing it live again. What the hell? Yeah, I'm here, and I actually like this setup, man. I can use a really good camera. I can see what you guys are saying, and I can work at the same time. And I do believe that the quality is better like this than it's ever been previously. Pretty convinced of that. What's up, my friend Jason? How you doing, man? Dakota's Coins and Stones says, I'm pretty young, so I don't have a Facebook. I have a Reddit, Instagram, and just normal iMessages. it's like my kids. Only old people are on Facebook, Dad. uh, I tell you the truth, man. In general, Facebook is just a toxic ass place. It really is. I stopped paying attention to most of my stuff on Facebook. I probably have a few hundred Facebook friend requests that I haven't responded to just because I've had so many bad experiences with Facebook. I just don't put much stock in it anymore. I go and look at it a little bit every now and then, but I'm definitely not giving it the time or attention that somebody would be doing to advertise. Hell, I don't give my Instagram near as much attention as I should. I got one section that's really showing up with the green, really great. Whoops, I'm off camera. Really great right there. It's not showing up on the... Got these edges over here. They're showing up really good. There you go. You can see it now. Mark Rich, Sunstones, Veteran Day, 2 days, 3 days after Thanksgiving, 29 days, last 3 to 0, got 1,000 carats, lots of clear pink schiller. Congratulations on the Sunstones, man. I really love going out to Plush and digging for Sunstones. I wish I would have done that earlier. I'm doing pretty good, Jason. I wasn't thinking I was going to be able to get this live stream up and going because I had so many problems with understanding how the software was working earlier. And now I figured it out about 15 minutes after I wanted to have this live stream going. So not too bad. Hi, Linda Bennett. 26 people in the room with 22 thumbs up. I'm proud of you guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all of the thumbs up. They help the channel grow. Just remember that anytime you appreciate a video, when you think a video is good, give it that thumbs up button and share it someplace. If it's a video, you're just like, well, he's just bullshitting about some stuff I don't care about, then don't share those ones. Because I wouldn't, to tell you the truth. I actually tonight didn't even want to do a live stream. I thought I was going to have time to do an edited video. And then about halfway through my day, I realized that that was not happening at all. There was no chance I was going to be able to shoot and edit a video. And then that was when I decided to go ahead and try and set up live streaming. And the first time I thought I had it all figured out, was going to be able to have it set up, and spent like 2 hours on getting the whole room ready and running cords and setting up cameras. And then about an hour and a half before I got this thing up, I started trying to get it up, and it was just a giant fiasco. Dakota Coins and Stones, I need some sapphire facet rough. Anyone have any info? You want to look up Blazing Gems, as he's on Facebook too, and he has the monsters, man. I tell you what, that's the guy whose mine I go to. He's my favorite. Like I really like Gem Mountain, but once I went to Blazes and I found that, is it two? It's either 2 or 4 carat purple perfect hex shape like that. Once I found that at Blazes, man, nobody else even holds a candle to his feed dig. Like Blaze sells rough for other people too. It's just amazing natural Montana sapphires. So Blazing Gems, he's definitely the one I say to go to for good sapphire facet rough. Hello, Bonsai Bros. Long time no see, buddy. Bonsai Bros says he sells sapphires. He's in Australia. I have sapphire cabbing rough, as you guys saw in the video. That's definitely not faceting rough. Seems like it's a little bent. Has a little wobble to its spin. That's better. Next time I do this, I'm going to grab some of those opals that got sent to me from my buddy in Australia, and I'm going to carve one of those and see how it starts to turn out on live stream. Modern Prospector says sapphire rough from online sources is scary since he himself has been scammed a few times and he was being careful. Yeah, Blaze and Gems is a guy you can trust, man. Blaze, he's like me on the passionate aspect, on like he can be too passionate about some things that other people don't care about. He's an emotionally driven person too, but he's a kind of person that's not going to screw you. That is something I absolutely 1000% wholeheartedly believe, or else I wouldn't recommend him. I wouldn't sit there and say, hey, you should go talk to this guy if I didn't absolutely believe that guy was worth it. And Blaze is one of those guys I think is totally worth it. We don't agree on a lot of stuff, but I definitely believe him to be a forthright individual. Yeah, I appreciate you watching the videos, Bonsai Bros. I've seen you before, man. I remember your name. Modern Prospector says some of the Indian dealers sell some crazy good looking fake rough. They even add trigons to the rough for real effect. I completely agree with you on that, Modern Prospector. I would not buy any sunstones either from an Indian dealer. This is a video I have that's going to be upcoming here in a while. There are a lot of guys that are trying to sell both rainbow lasset and Oregon reds and oranges as natural, and they're not natural, and they are complete fakes. And they're selling them for dirt cheap prices, which is one of the tells that that they're probably fake, because the price they're selling their stones at, they could not have bought those stones off of somebody out of Plush, Oregon, for the price they're selling their cut pieces at. They might have stolen them from them, but there's no way that they actually bought them from the guys and then faceted them and then are selling them as cheap as their online prices say. It's just unrealistic. With an E apostrophe N. Blaze, Blaze apostrophe N space gems. He's totally on Facebook. I don't know about his online store, or I don't know about his online store because I haven't checked. If you go to if he has an online store, or he did when I dug at his mine, and you go to my YouTube playlists that says sapphires and rubies, and then go to the one that says blazing gems, it has contact info for him of some kind. I have something in there because that's part of the reason that those guys let me out at their mines and stuff like that, and give me any sort of inside information. And Blaze, when I was out there, I just spoke to him a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, and he originally, when I went out there and wanted to do the video with him, he had a contract with a production company that was supposed to do a prospector style TV show out there, and he wouldn't give me too much information and couldn't be on video too much for fear of being sued by the production company that he was in a contract with. So when I talked to him a few weeks ago, he invited me back out there and was like, this time, man, I can tell you everything and we can do whatever. And he's not under contract anymore. And he was super excited about that. Linda Bennett's got it. Did I miss a question? All he gets are gambling videos. Yep, I'm trying to get that same edge color to pop up on the top. Well, what I see, Misty, is I see greens and purples that are showing up through the main body area. Green is definitely the main color, and there's wispy purples running through the green, but it's right underneath a brown and bronze topping. Like you can see those purples starting to show up. I'm trying to make it to where it'll show up at all angles, and the color will just be there. Yet, I might not have quite gotten close enough, but I think I did because it's really easy to go through the colors that are in this. The color bars that I've found are not super thick. They're there, and I can get them at all angles, but they're not really thick. And this is the only piece that I pulled out of that mine that I actually have gotten any color out of. Now, when I first dug this stuff out, it's very possible, I don't remember, but it's very possible that I had shoot, what do you call them? That I had grub stakers, because some of my adventures wouldn't have happened without some of my viewers that helped them happen by financing part of them. And a lot of times when I would go and dig at places and I wouldn't pull out a whole lot of great material, I would send the majority of the good material to the grub stakers. Looks like it's getting closer to me. Color's showing up a little bit better here and there. I could totally put mineral oil on this. That's a suggestion that I got a long time ago to use mineral oil, yet I've never actually done that myself. This is a 1200 burr I'm working with. You can see it's already getting a nice little shine to it. Nice little shine to it, but still not, the color's not all there yet. Like it's not at all angles appearing. Got to watch out. This, you can see I've wrapped my handpiece up, and it makes it for easier to grip. It also makes it to where I don't let my thumbs go get onto that piece, because one, it burns, and number two, when you're wearing gloves like this, that the teeth on there will totally grab the gloves and wind it up and tear them into there. Thankfully, it tears the gloves, because otherwise it'd snap fingers. Yep, the colors are really starting to show up. 24 people in the room and 26 thumbs up. Once again, I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. They help. Yeah, I have some mineral oil for that exact purpose, Bonsai Bros. I could stop the water drip and clean this off real quick and use some mineral oil real quick. I can do that. Actually, let me give it a good rinse. I'll wipe it off. Dry off my burr too. I haven't been using a 600. This is a 1200 I've been using. The head area right there, the green is really showing up pretty good. Bodies, the sides, it's really good on. Except for right there, I totally lost the color right there on that side. That's why I'm hesitant to work anything too fast. Get some mineral oil. Good dollop of mineral oil on there. That tail, the blue on that tail is really showing up with the mineral oil on it. Dakota's Coin says, clean up the edges to make it look like a cabochon. I'm absolutely convinced that this is going to be the body of a butterfly. That the gemstone this ends up inside, it's totally going to be butterfly-esque. There's like no chance it should be anything else. Great thing about fire agate is, unlike opals, it is not heat. It doesn't crack when you put heat on it. Like, I could sit here and carve it with this burr dry if I wanted to, and it wouldn't really affect it very much at all. A little bit too much mineral oil. It's getting down on my gloves and a little bit hard to hold. Then I can feel it feeling all slippery. I should have just probably put a dot on there instead of dipping the whole thing in there and letting it run down like I did. Definitely showing a line on the edges more. Like, you can really see that purple showing up right there. Edges of the body are really showing up. I was watching a video of some people cutting dentures at a warehouse, and they had something like this, but it was like mounted like in a vise, or probably it was a completely different machine that you put the burrs inside of. Like, I could see how working some of this fire agate like that would be a bit easier than holding it in your hands. Modern Prospector says, one thing I often see in the prospecting community is that we often have in common is PTSD or a rough past. Must be something about treasure that brings us together. it's it's very astute, and I totally freaking agree. Like, I'm in the PTSD zone, absolutely. That's no question about that one. And I would say that a fair amount of the people that I really get along with out in the dirt, and that own mining claims and stuff like that, they definitely have, some of those same little off-kilter personality parts about them. Which, I mean, tell you the truth, the one thing I get about a lot of people like that too is they tend to be really honest and sort of sick of the world's, lies. Like, they're just sort of sick of dealing with the bullshit part of life. They'd rather deal with it on a real basis. Get a fly ting stand. I don't know what that is. Yeah, some of the things that give PTSD can also build character. I mean, that's, I'm not going to say that that's exactly not true. At the same time, I think a lot of people could really do without a lot of the PTSD that we have. I mean, most of it is from seriously traumatic experiences caused by other people that, some things you just can't get over, scar the psyche so bad, like me. Like the week I quit smoking pot, it was like 5 days after I quit smoking pot. And every single night since then, I have the worst nightmares. I mean, about all kinds of crap, about stuff that would never happen, about stuff I didn't know I was scared of, about past arguments I've had with people and having them even get more out of bounds than they've ever actually gotten in real life. Like, I mean, the nightmares are just freaking ridiculous. And I absolutely know that that's from, my traumatic past and my childhood. That part I could seriously do without. And I tell you what, that's the biggest reason I miss pot right now. Because one of the things about when I totally quit smoking pot, I also noticed is that it was easier for me to control my frustrations with normal people. Like, there's only one person that can really get under my skin no matter what. And I've been married to her for like, 15 years and together with her for 18 years. But anybody else, any other scenarios, like I can totally keep my cool even when somebody else is totally flipping out and being an asshole, no problem. Yet it seemed like when I was constantly stoned all the time that I wasn't able to just keep my cool so much with people when, they were flipping out. And we've had a couple of incidences with some of our people that come and eat with us on Wednesdays to where, things start to happen and I'm the one that's able to get everything sort of mellowed out. At the same time, I have a different perspective from almost everybody else that comes and helps us with that, except for one lady. There's one lady that she was homeless for a number of years here in Fort Walton Beach where we're at, and she definitely has a perspective like I do about a lot of things with these people that some people like. There's this cool gentleman named Tim that comes out there and helps with the feedings and stuff like that, and he's a freaking airline pilot. Like he flies planes to London and stuff like that. I mean, pretty sure he doesn't have the same perspective on somebody that's going through, PTSD from wartime and is trying to keep his cool when he thought somebody said something that they didn't say, but he's ready to kick that dude's ass anyways. uh, Linda Bennett says, get some CBD oil. She uses it for arthritis and to help her sleep. And I've heard that from a lot of people. Yeah, unfortunately, though, I'm in the worst financial situation I've been at in a long time. And just to be totally 100% transparent, one of the reasons I'm in one of the worst financial situations I've ever been in a long time is because most of the time I've been leaning on my wife. She's been the number one earner in our house since I frickin' met her. I mean, that's one thing her parents really did good about hers. They taught her how to make money in a certain industry to where she's never really had problems, bringing money in. Which is sort of really easy to kick me in the balls with that one, because the only time I was really great at bringing money in, I was a street kid and I was selling pot and acid and ecstasy on the streets and stuff like that. But if it wouldn't have been for that stuff, I never would have got up off the streets at such a young age. Yeah, I should have started using mineral oil a while before. I definitely appreciate how I feel like I have more control than with water, because with water, it puts a, I mean, that's probably happening here too. Water sort of coats it and you get an unnatural, well, it gives you this shaping that might not really be there. You could totally be digging a hole into the agate, yet with water it'll make it look like it's rounded and bubbled and stuff like that, whereas with the mineral oil it doesn't look like it's quite working like that. Oh, you're a miner, Dakota's coins. That's a good thing to know. um I have no idea if CBD oil is illegal for minors or not. I would imagine, since it's not smoking, that it's probably not. And I don't really know, man. I couldn't actually tell you. I would think that if it's not being smoked, that it's probably not going to be illegal for minors. Jason Meady says CBD is reaching every corner of the market it can. Yeah, I had somebody that tried to get me into CBD business like a year ago, and I was like, dude, it's already saturated. No thanks. There's like 4 or 5 CBD stores uh, within like a couple of miles of each other, just on a normal walk that I go to Mary Esther, and it's definitely like vape was about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, the amount of like vapor stores and stuff like that was just insanely crazy. Now some of those have gone out of business. Andrea H. Her doctor made her quit CBD. They're confused about CBD versus straight up pot. Nothing wrong with pot, but in Texas it's not legal. We'll check out Dr. Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, I know you're talking about the guy that's from Canada that was on Joe Rogan for a while and had some issues with like people that think he's like anti-gay or anti-trans or whatever. Social justice warriors. PC culture is bad for comedy. That I 1000% believe in. Oh, Jason Meady says what he means is that they're going to be putting CBD inside of hamburgers and water in Colorado, which is probably true. I mean, they're going sort of nuts with trying to put it in. Anytime they think it's a miracle cure, they have a miracle cure like everybody wants it, then it's got to be in everything. Which to me, that just I'd rather have real scientific work being done on this stuff, and so we could actually be told and you would actually know exactly what it helps and for what reasons, instead of it being the witch doctor bullshit that it's for everything. It'll make you fly. Like uh This is something that like with this piece, like the really great color is obviously underneath a layer of brown, right? And there's a bronze in between the great color and the brown. It seems like with some of the like really great higher grade pieces of fire agate, it's a clear chalcedony cap that'll be right on top of some amazing color. And I saw this one piece that had to be worth like I wouldn't have sold it for anything less than like $20,000 if it would have been my piece. Seriously, it was a piece that was about this big. It was just like a huge, huge piece of rock, and the whole center of it was just blue, and it had probably an inch and a half clear chalcedony cap on it, and it was just magnifying the blue, and the whole thing was blue and purple, just popping out. It was a Slaughter Mountain piece that my friend John had, and he sold it that weekend at Tucson. That was the second time I was at Tucson. He showed it to me like he was showing me like he was showing me like $30,000 in his pocket. Is the way he was like, here, you can look at it. No, you can't hold it. I'm putting it back. Like, come on, amazing color. And I could totally finish taking it to a polish, but it's just not quite where I want it to be yet. I mean, it looks good with the mineral oil on it, but it's still sort of directional and flashy, and you can tell there's something covering up the main section. Yeah, bonsai bros, I completely understand that. My only big problem is that the narrative is halfway flipped. Like, my biggest problem is that I gave complete and total emotional control to somebody else and never understood that they had all of the control over my emotions until recently. Like, I mean, I knew that they were able to push my buttons and make me act all stupid, but I didn't understand I didn't understand anything about narcissism until about a year ago. Like, I didn't understand what the terminology meant. I didn't understand the spectrum that it is. I didn't understand that I had narcissistic traits. And now there is a YouTuber, uh, Surviving Narcissism is the channel, and it's run by a doctor. And there's another lady that I got turned on to somehow, that she talks about it, but her talks are like from her own personal experiences and with a husband that she had, and with her children and stuff. But then there's this doctor that does the Surviving Narcissism YouTube channel, and I've been watching his videos nonstop. And what it's taught me is the type of narcissist that my wife is, and that I definitely have fit into the narcissistic spectrum also, but not in the same ways, not in the same ways at all. Uh, that I've been acting out because I thought that it stopped the fights at the moment. And the only reason I find out now, understanding more about narcissism, that it stopped the fights and the arguments at the moment, is because I basically gave her what she wanted, which was more ammunition to point to me and go, see, I'm perfect and he's a bad guy. Like, he's a villain. And I didn't understand any of that stuff until recently. And the more I understand it, the more it's just, the whole thing sort of sickens me. Like, the way I've acted, the whole relationship as a whole, just the whole thing just sort of makes me feel sick to my stomach. And realizing that my own narcissistic traits, and even if I didn't have them before this relationship, I definitely have shown a fair amount of them. And I can't even say if I didn't have them before this relationship, because I have narcissistic traits in the fact that I'm overbearing on people, and I feel like I always have to be heard, and I would shout people down on a regular basis. And like, that didn't just start with my wife. Like, I had some of those traits before ever meeting her. Yet once again, Joe Rogan said something the other day. He was having a conversation with somebody I was listening to. I can't remember who it was, but he had said, "Well, you would hope people that are narcissists, you would hope that they can heal from that they can understand that they are like that, and then start changing from that." And I'm like, I sure as fuck hope so. uh, yeah, I am definitely, I think, one of the over intelligent and not educated enough, which that's my fault more than anybody else's. 20 people in the room and 30 thumbs up. I appreciate all those thumbs up you guys give. Thank you very much. Really awesome of you. I'm going to save some of the Australian stuff for the 100,000 subscriber giveaway too. That's going to be the next big giveaway. I sort of missed the 10,000 subscriber deal, but I was just living in my own pain and trying to make everything in the house as like nice as I could. And then everything with Chloe happened, and That broke my soul, man. That damn dog fixed so much stuff in my life when she came into it, and I didn't even want a dog. And then the way she went out of it, and I plan on making a whole video about it, and I plan on making a whole box tour, and I have her ashes and stuff like that. And that just, man, I tell you what, I never thought a dog would affect me more than most humans ever have, and she definitely did. She was different, though, I'm telling you. Dog was half a human, which made her better than most humans because she was all the good parts of one. uh, Jeannie Murdoch says it's a cocoon. It will evolve into a beautiful butterfly. Can we auction this one off soon? I'm not sure. I've actually been thinking of sending it to Tammy and their friends on my Facebook. Tammy and I can't remember her husband's name, but they do metal work and they're on my Facebook. And I've been thinking about sending it to them because I totally know that they could make a wax cast for the wings. And so I've been thinking about that. That green on the head is really popping out good, but this section right here is upsetting me. Give this a wipe real quick. And although I'm not sure if just wiping it down is going to be good enough with the way mineral oil is. Still very directional, even on the tail, except on the sides. The sides have that line that's really popped up. Top of it, though. Still got a ways to go. That's what it's telling me. Yeah, when Chloe got poisoned, she was poisoned by a veterinarian that I took her in because she had a limp that one vet wouldn't look at her a second time in a day. And I took her to a different vet, and that vet decided to switch her from a different antibiotic than the antibiotic she was already on, which didn't need to happen. She didn't need to be switched, and that gave her the metronidazole neurotoxicity that originally messed her up. And I forgot where I was going with this. A 15-year-old black lab. I had a point, and I lost my point like 15 seconds into talking. Yep, she was an amazing one, I tell you what. Me and her were best buds, dude. She was the best dog a boy could ever ask for. She would pull me down the street on a skateboard, and I had her to where certain tugs would get her to stop, and I could holler at her, and she'd go faster. And that's actually on a bicycle before we started on a skateboard is exactly how I tore my knee up the first time. Only time so far. But that dog, I miss her. Every day I think about her. I'm sure I miss her the same way as like if she was one of my kids, tell you the truth, because although I blame myself for her final death, to tell you the truth. I really feel like if I would have never taken her up to Auburn University, that she would have lived a lot longer. But she was paralyzed from in the back legs. She couldn't use her back legs, and when I thought she was getting better, she didn't really get better. She looked like she was getting totally better for a couple of days, and then the neurotoxicity stopped. But the back legs, she just couldn't or wouldn't use them. And I still thought there was something we could take her up to somebody to check on, and we took her up to Auburn, and I told them that the prednisone that a doctor had already had her on, that it was killing her, that it was giving her black diarrhea, and it was making everything worse. But they tried everything that they knew of, and then my wife and them basically convinced me that they were needed to put her back on prednisone, and they fucking put her on prednisone, and 24 hours later her lungs quit working. And man, she died in my arms outside of a fucking store, outside of a Firehouse Subs. One of the worst nights of my life. And I 100% have been blaming myself the whole time because I was desperate for her to be able to walk again. And now I just wish I would have just kept her the way she was and never cared about her ever walking again. I was taking her out to the bathroom and carrying her everywhere and carting her around in a one of those fold out freaking carts that's made of canvas and has 4 wheels on the bottom, and it like accordion folds up. I mean, I did that for a while, like a month or more, maybe more. I don't remember. Whole thing was super traumatic. I really miss her. But I tell you what, she died in my arms, and I thought she was already gone. She was passed out. She'd stopped breathing, and I was, wailing like a baby. And then when she came back for a split second, she reached up towards the sky like a person would, and she was like looking at something. And I tell you what, man, it didn't make me immediately start believing in God, but it definitely made me think about freaking reincarnation and her going back to a pool of energy. Because to tell you the truth, I was making all kinds of pleading and begging and praying and, the signs of grief or dealing with grief where you make deals and stuff. Like I was making all kinds of deals. None of it worked. She was amazing. She really did give me my relationship back with my kids, because my relationship with my kids before then had really been ruined by my relationship with my wife and her convincing them that everything I said was abuse, no matter how I talked to people, that they didn't need to listen to me. And now I'm just like going off about shit I shouldn't be talking about because I'm supposed to be just dealing with this. And instead I started reminiscing about the puppy and going through all the personal stuff. Bonsai Bros, no one cares about rocks or gold in Australia. Really, it's like 5% worked. There is so much untouched land. It's crazy, but getting around an ounce can be deadly. Getting around an ounce can be deadly. See, he's talking about rocks. That's where I'm supposed to be at. Yeah, it did. Bonsai Bros says that last bit made you think. It's like, yeah, it totally did. Totally did make me think. Maybe I should have done the baby or the mineral oil with a 600 instead of with a 1200. Yep, she was the best dog a boy could have asked for, Dakota. Just sometimes that boy ends up being 40 years old when he finally gets one like that. I mean, I had a lot of good dogs in my life. I had more than a few good dogs. But she was just so damn different. Like she could read my damn mind. That's the kind of dog she was. Oh, that was the point I meant to make, is that he had said something about his black lab when she got sick, and we were trying to figure out what was wrong with her before we found out about the metronidazole toxicity. Tony, my wife, had contacted a company to look up her DNA to find out if there was anything that might be genetic. And that's when we found out what breed she was, and that I knew she was a pit bull mix, but she was actually a basset hound boxer mixed with a female pit. And that ended up making the softest dog with the most adorable ears I've ever seen in my life. She had fur of a rabbit. Like, that was so amazing. Like, her fur was so soft that even when we got up to Auburn and the first time those doctors touched her, that was all they were like, "Oh my God, she's so soft." She had the craziest fur. She had the fur of a rabbit and the ears of a rabbit. The mind of an empath. The dog could tell when like kids were upset and stuff like that, and she'd like go and put her head on their lap and push down really hard with her head. Like, I agree with the looking good part, but it's getting there. Like, it's getting there. That brown is starting to go away to where it's all colored up right on this edge. I think I could have done some of this with a 600 instead of with a 1200. Yet at the same time, I worry less about losing the color with a 1200. I have so much time into this stone itself over so long of a period of time. Like, I've worked this stone probably like 5 times in like over a year. Oh, now I'm worried that I'm starting to lose the color on that edge, so I don't want to run on that edge anymore. See, it looks like a flat spot. Yep, right there. Oh, I've to answer your question, Bonsai Bros, I've always sort of believed more in reincarnation than in a petulant child in the sky. My childhood and seeing my grandparents who were like super religious in the way ministries, and my grandfather was a preacher, and then his they let their son basically take advantage of my sister for a number of years, and they were always super religious people. So it's just one of those things to where knowing what I knew about priests and then knowing what I know about, some people that are super religious and at the same time are like doing things that are completely against the type of stuff that they preach inside of their religion. I've never really been one for the petulant child in the sky ever since I was a kid. Because even as a child, I was like, well, what kind of thinking, God would let this sort of stuff happen to me? And then when I start seeing like stuff in Ethiopia and the what the hell's the name of it? The parts of Africa where militias will take children and then make them kill their parents and stuff like that. It's just insane. And so I've always sort of been on energy that, I mean, there's something inside of us that's driving this life, that's driving the mentality. Even I believe that even with animals and stuff like that, that there's an energy source, that there's a pool. And it might not be here, not on this plane or anything that we can see or touch or even possibly access, but I definitely believe in, the spirit, just not in a petulant child in the sky, not in a somebody that you can pray to and magic things are going to happen. Like, I don't buy that part myself personally. And I don't worry about what other people believe on that one. I mean, I go to church every Sunday with my great aunt. It's not really for me that I do that though. It's not for my belief system that I do that. I do that because it's somebody that she can go with, and I'm there for her, and I do stuff because it means something to her, and that's part of the reason that I go. But the thing I saw with Chloe is I saw her reach up. Like, I thought she was already dead, man. Like, I was convinced she was dead, and I was wailing like she was dead. And she came back for one final, like, reach, dead up like a human reaching up for something in the sky. like the heavens had parted and she saw the light. Like that's literally what it was like. Like, I mean, it definitely affected me. It really, really affected me. But I tell you what, if she would have survived, I would be a devout motherfucker praying 4 times a day. if she would have come back from Auburn and just lived, not even been walking again or anything, I would be totally devout. I would be like a Muslim at 5 o'clock in the morning with my blanket facing east or west or north or whatever area they face. I don't know that much. I just know that they get down on blankets at 5 o'clock in the morning and pray every day. And I mean, regardless of my belief, I also think that, that there are people that really benefits, is that belief structure and that sort of regularity in their actions and stuff, that, it benefits them. At the same time, I know that there's a lot of people out there that use that as a manipulation tool for other people. And the only way they know is anything about God is to use it to get things from other people. Like Tammy Faye Baker and her husband. That vet, Dry Creek says the vet was not very experienced. It's even worse than that. Can I zoom in and we can see a close up? Yeah, I can do that. It's worse than that. That vet is careless. Like, she's not just not very experienced. She's careless. She's so careless that I didn't understand why my wife, when they got 2 cats, they decided to take those cats to the same veterinary office, but they did. They decided to take those 2 cats to the same veterinary office, and the same vet that poisoned Chloe gives the damn cats a shot. And this lady is so fucking careless. She lets a cat that's a kitten that's only like a couple of months old at most knock the needle out of her hand, and it hits my daughter. Now, it didn't stick my daughter, but the needle got knocked out of the vet's hand and it hit my daughter. Like, this lady's a fucking menace. Like, she has no right to be treating animals. She shouldn't even be in the same room with animals, in my mind. It's getting there, people. It's really totally getting there. See what it looks like when I take the oil off of it and wipe it off on this towel I got right here. Yeah, it's totally getting there. It's really close. I think I sort of screwed the shape up right here, though. It's green everywhere, but it's sort of directional. I think I sort of screwed the pooch on the shape on this part. Yes, I am selling stones at the moment. I have some stuff in my Etsy store. My Etsy store has some fire agate for sale. It also has some of the sunstones and stuff for sale that I had posted on that video. I plan on posting more stuff, yet every time I make plans, the world does not let me do any of that stuff. It's just, the way it is. And I'm done fighting with it. Like, I'm done thinking that, well, I had plans and I'm going to make those plans happen. Nope, I'm just rolling with the punches. I thought I was going to do something. Don't have time to do that today because I did these other things. And so I meant to have like 5 or 10 or 15 or 35 more auctions up, or I mean, sales up inside my Etsy store, but that just didn't happen today. And oh well, know what I mean? Yep, Jeannie, that's exactly how I feel about it. They're on their next journey. We drove all the way back down to Destin from Auburn with her in the car, and then my wife at first didn't want to tell the kids. She just wanted to take her to another vet that was going to cremate her, and I wouldn't let her do that. And then we took her to the kids, and all of us just screamed and wailed and mourned over her in the driveway, and we had like 6 or 7 neighbors come out and look, and my wife, she was crying with us, but she's like, the neighbors, I'm like, fuck them, I don't care. Like, I don't, let them say something, I don't care. Like, yeah, it's just a moving spot. You're just going from one place to another. I mean, I like the thought of reincarnation better than I like the thought of heaven anyways, to tell you the truth, because like, who wants to be in one place forever? It's hard for me to stay on camera like this, but you guys can definitely see the stone a lot better like this, no question. There we go, that's why. Jason Carson City says, no, I don't use Facebook. Sorry. He learned his lesson with Facebook. Facebook will fuck your whole life up. uh, my wife used to get pissed off at me because I didn't like her stuff on Facebook. And I'd be like, why does that even matter? I see you all day long. Why do you care if I see, if I don't give your stuff on Facebook a like? I don't even read it. Like, uh, I only originally even started a Facebook because it was supposed to make my DJ career take off and better, and that didn't happen. But I found myself to be consummate on the artist scale on that one thing, is that no matter how good I am at something, I'm horrible at selling that something to some people. And that's pretty much the way it is with the DJ world. Like, I know guys that have gone way farther than me, even though skills wise, I'm way better than them with the skills. But it just doesn't matter that much in some aspects. Like, it's not just what you can do, it's who you know and how you talk to people. And sometimes I don't talk good to people. Like, that's just straight up honest. I probably would have had a couple more opportunities if there were times I was just nicer about certain aspects of certain things. In general, I'm a pretty nice guy, but then when I think I'm like sticking up for mine and my people, then I can be a total dick. Sometimes I'm a dick without trying, and then I'll come back and apologize to people. But I'm good about apologizing when I think I've done something. Bonsai Bros, what you just put up gives me the opportunity to hide it. I'm not going to, but if you ask me to, I totally will. But then I got to go to the computer because I have a TV hooked up to an HDMI that's showing me what you guys are saying. I'm not actually near the computer. Oh, it says messages held for review. Bonsai, do you want me to show that message? I'll go and click it so people can see it because it's held for review. I either need to click show or hide. I see it's all good. Type something besides it's all good. Do you want me to show that message? Stratagems at GMX. I'm having enough problems just getting my stuff posted on my. Yeah, mate. Okay, I'll put it up. I appreciate the help, Bonsai, but I'm having enough problems just getting the time to post the stuff on my Etsy and actually have halfway decent pictures. I really like the videos over the pictures in being able to show stuff for sale. Like for some reason, I think something looks really good. Then when I go back and look at stuff people are buying, I'm like, man, this stuff looks way better than the pictures are doing it justice. God the Ripper, what's your Etsy shop? Is it shipped from America? Yes, God the Ripper, it is. If you're talking to me, it is totally shipped from America. My Etsy shop is Mining America in Etsy, yet the link is not. After I get done with this, I will totally, well, either tonight or tomorrow in the morning. It depends on what time I get done with this live stream. I would totally put the Etsy link in the description. If you go to some of my older stuff, you can totally find the link in the description. Oh God, that's another thing. I haven't been putting the name Mining America in any of the sales for tags. I totally should have been doing that. Duh. Jeannie Murdoch, I took a break from Facebook all last year and it felt great. Now drama is coming back. LOL, but I want to start my business. Is Instagram better? Uh I don't know. I from what people tell me, Instagram can be amazing as long as you're taking really good photos and posting them up. I don't better or worse, I don't really know. Uh for me, the drama on Facebook is just that it's like some people say is like if you only click, or this is another Joe Rogan thing, if you only click on puppies, then all Facebook is going to show you is puppies. But if you keep interacting with shit that pisses you off, all Facebook is going to show you is shit that pisses you off. And my dumbass tends to click on stuff and tell people, hey, don't do that, and then I get negative shit back because I'm actually in other people's mind, I'm putting negative shit out there, although in my mind usually I'm correcting people, which once again I guess that's sort of a negative thing too. Who the fuck do I think I am to go and tell people how they should do things or say things, or even when they got bad spelling? I don't do that about bad spelling, but plenty of people have done it to me, and I'm like, fuck you, so I can't spell. Yeah, speaking of that, Modern Prospector, there is a guy that purchased a box for the lotto, a lotto box a while ago. Now there's two of them. One of them I actually spoke to and dealt with. The other person never once complained to me at all, never said anything about his box, and then he left me a review saying that he had to contact Etsy, and then I didn't contact him back until after he contacted Etsy and contacted me. And that's total lie, man. That guy never contacted me once about any of his stuff. Hold on, I got to show both of Jason's. Apparently, if you use the word dick, then it doesn't want to let you say your statement, which, I mean, big deal. It's not like it's a dick pic. It's a name. Do they not know that's a name too? I can tell you this, that there are 2 stones inside of my Etsy store right now that should carve ridiculous monsters. Like, I was sort of hesitant to even post them up, but I posted one of them for 90 and the other one for 125, and I don't even care if they don't go. But they're going to be ridiculous monster stones, and possibly like a monster stone and a couple of other stones might come out of them too. They're ginormous looking. One of them has some great color already showing. The other one has a giant gem that faced out of the center of it. That yeah, I was hesitant to put them up, and then as I was like thinking I wasn't going to, I looked over to my right and I saw all of my stuff I have to work on. I was like, I can afford to lose these. Like here tomorrow, I want to get another video up, and hopefully it'll be an edited video, or if it's not and I do another live stream, I'll try and shoot the video of it while doing the live stream. That way I can edit the video later. And in order to do that, I can record with my phone in 4K, and then I can do the live stream in 1080p like this one is. And then there's the live video and the edited version, where the edited version doesn't have to be, hours long. Although I was planning on doing that with a couple of the Australian opal knobbies that I got recently. Another sort of, is it crud or is it stud? But I'm pretty sure that all of those are going to be really, really great. Tell you what, carving fire agate will make you neurotic and crazy. It's like an anxiety stone. It's not a stone that cures anxiety. It's a stone that gives you more anxiety as you work it. Yep, the Facebook moderators don't like the name Dick because they're just think you're calling people one instead of like using it as a reference or something. Like it's a 5-letter word, isn't it? No, it's totally 4 letters. I can't count for shit, obviously. Haha, I can say whatever I want, but you guys type just the word dick and I have to let you guys be seen. All right. Bring it on home, man. Yeah, I totally could have done this with a 600 soft. That's what I'm realizing now because I've been working it so long with this 12. Take care, and I hope you check out Dr. Peterson Andrea. I missed that Modern Prospector. You probably have to tell me again about it. What's up, Ryan? How you doing, buddy? Is it morning time in Australia, my friend? Last time I was talking to you though, Ryan, it was like fucking 3 a.m. your time and you were still up. Here in a while, I'll be sending you a care package myself. Once I get everything a little bit more worked out here. Oh, that edge is showing up really good, isn't it? Let's work the center of it. Not let the hit the edges anymore. $4 p.m. Nice. Nice midday. I'm glad you got to see it too, Christine Smith. We're glad you're here. And just so you know, this isn't a polishing machine. I'll go ahead and show it one more time, although it might be a little bit too close. You can get this unit, not with the burrs, but you can get this unit, the Prodigy Flex Shaft, online for around $100. It's totally worth it. And then the easiest place to order some of the burrs these are Nova points, and you can get them from Diamond Pacific. And then also the hard burrs, you can get good centered burrs from the Jade Carver is the easiest person to order them from. He has the best, at least last year he had the best online ordering scheme to where you didn't have to go through a bunch of BS in order to order them. Some places, like, you still have to order through fax or call them and then put your order in, and that's just such a freaking hassle, man. Everybody's so used to doing stuff online. I don't understand why, people just don't make it easy on the buyer. Jason, Carson City. Well, if you want to come out to Nevada, let me know so we can make some videos and on mining some fluorite, some epidote, and some crystals. And anytime, just let me know. Jason, man, just keep watching my channel. And then when you hear I'm going out, send me an email. Like, I'm totally down to dig. Right now, though, I got to figure out this whole personal life crap. And I need to get a real regular income coming in, one I can absolutely depend on, because I'm about to need to start paying child support, because that is a law in Florida when you get divorced, that even though she's been the breadwinner for all this time and that she's going to probably for almost ever make way more money than me, I still have to pay a minimum of 10% of whatever my income is, which I don't have a problem with that as long as I have a damn income. But the problem with Florida is that if you're not paying child support, then you go to jail, because they totally think that keeping you in jail is going to help you pay child support. Dakota Coins and Stones, I do not have lapidary wheels anymore, or I don't have a lapidary machine, I should say. I do have my Nova wheels, and I do have a 600 centered stashed away somewhere at the ex's house. But I don't actually own the machine anymore because I was not using it enough, and I really needed some cash. And so I sold it. But surprisingly, like most lapidary equipment, I got a really fair price for it. Modern Prospector's throwing out great advice there. So I can see that side and how lit up that side is. And so that's why I haven't given up on the tops yet getting to be that bright. I don't care, Jason. It just makes me have to get up and go and click a button. Anytime you put a web link in there or an email address or say a foul word, apparently, then YouTube makes it to where I have to authorize it. Well, making everything shake too much. Oh, well, it's making my stuff shake, though. Now that I think about it, it's not making you guys shake. You guys don't see it. That's a great thing about the camera actually being behind me. It can be hard for me to keep everything on shot sometimes, but the camera being so far behind me and on a table, when I'm moving this, you guys aren't shaking that much, just I am. I definitely forgot about how good the live streams are for the community. Like the videos are good, but when you can interact live with each other, it's definitely much different. Awesome, Ryan. Good luck in the Opal fields, my friend. Wish I was there with you. I'm going to go to Australia someday. Oh, maybe not. They might never give me a passport. I might never be able to get a passport. Who knows? Maybe one day they'll make all drugs legal and then I will be able to get a passport. Some of the crap you get a felony for in the States is just ridiculous. Like in Florida, driving without a license is a felony. And they'll take somebody's license for 2 years because they got caught walking down the street with a joint. They weren't even nowhere near a car. In Florida, you get a license back faster for a DUI than you do for smoking pot. Have a good one, Ryan. Thanks for being here, brother. Yeah, a majority of the people that have been in here tonight, Ryan, were a lot of my regulars when I was selling stones on live stream. Not everybody would be buying, but everybody being there chatting and talking and stuff like that. But I definitely learned my lesson about selling stones on live stream that if they're not windowed, it's not worth doing. If people can't see a bit of color, then they don't have any faith in it, which that's understandable. Jason's back. Jason had to go take care of those 3,000 children he has. Edges of this back tail are really starting to show up pretty good. You guys aren't seeing it as good as I am on that one edge. That blue right there, man. That purple on that side's really starting to peak. Why did it block yours? Kids are the only gift life gives us. We can't take shit with you when you die. Mine as well. Take good memories of your kids, right? I don't understand why it's making me click the show for that to be up, Jason. I wonder, do they have a block on the ... Like, is a ... offensive now or something? The hell? I mean, dick, I can halfway understand. They were blocking anytime somebody said the word dick. Even though, like we said earlier, that's a name. But the only thing that was even strange about your sentence is you had 3 periods in it. Are 3 periods offensive to somebody now? Dude, total YouTube censoring. Nobody said anything near as bad as my foul mouth has. My foul mouth has been way worse than anybody's statements. Everybody's really awesome in this room, especially tonight. I'm actually really impressed with the amount of people that we've kept in the room for extended periods of time, considering it's been a long time since I did a live stream. Love you too, Jason. Mark Rich, need a 42 karat clear Schiller rectangular. 3 per signs. I don't understand that. I have like an 80 karat Schiller, but it's not clear. It's a like Schiller. It's like a carving Schiller because there's so much Schiller in it. Three DOP sticks and DOP wax. Yeah, it could be a tadpole, but we're going for the center of a butterfly. That way you can have the wings made for it out of like precious metals and then put other gems in it. It's a butterfly body. I can only take it to a 3,000 grit tonight anyways at maximum because I do not have a I don't have damn, now that I think about it, I don't even think I have cerium oxide here. I think it's at the X's. Although officially she's not even the X yet. She's still the wife. But I tell you what, that relationship, I've been through so much bullshit in that relationship. I don't want to have anything to do with women in general except for like be buddies, talk about rocks. I've never cared so little about sex in my whole life. Getting close, man. I tell you what. Really close to moving on to the 3,000. Yeah, I've met some people like that. Hold on, Bonsai. Let me help you out. Apparently, if you put the word sub and my channel in the same sentence, then you get blocked too. This is not me. This is just YouTube's algorithm. Boy, I tell you what, when she asked me to move up closer or get the camera closer for a close up, she really did all of us a favor. You can see this stone way better than before, and now I've gotten used to the positioning. It hasn't been that difficult for me to keep it on camera. Yeah, Dalen Hargrave's a fucking master, dude. That dude's a badass and a half. He's probably two full badasses, in all honesty. Talk about somebody who's carving school I would kill to go to. I'd love to go to his school. Every single person I've seen cut sunstones that went to Dalen's classes is absolutely amazing at it. Yes, Slick Willie, you got it right. That's exactly what we're all thinking. The body of a butterfly. It's so close. One thing I didn't give up on, guys, is the last time I was doing live streams, you're hearing me talk about how bad my hands were. I've been doing neuroglides with my hands all the time, and they're way better than they were last year. Like I can work with them much better now than I could last year. 6 months to damage them, 2 years to get them back. Even the word ass. YouTube has really got to lay off on some of the stuff that they're blocking in comments. I mean, they're making me get up way too much for stuff that just does not matter. I believe in freedom of speech. That's why I'm not on Patreon anymore. Because they don't. They think they have the right to police people that are not even on their freaking website saying stuff. And part of the reason I haven't put any time into Twitter is because, you know, if you use the wrong acronym with somebody, they just might ban you from Twitter forever. And I totally believe in freedom of speech. Like, you should be able to say whatever the hell you want to. And if people agree with it, great. And if they don't, then they don't have to listen. They can go someplace else. Like, that doesn't mean that you can just say whatever you want, meaning like you can't be super disrespectful or slanderous on my channel, because then I'll totally stop you. But it's not the same thing as like on your own channel or on your own Twitter tube. I agree with you, especially for some pieces that I've seen come out of Oatman. It's definitely got some great color in it. I'm just not quite there yet. I still have a layer, a thin layer. I want the directional to go away, and I want the whole thing to be bam, color, solid, the whole thing. But it's not like that yet. It's still totally directional. If it's moving, it's looking great. Good night, Modern Prospector. Whoever you're talking to, Jason, will totally appreciate that, because everybody loves cash. Oh, hate speech totally exists. Don't get me wrong. You hear me go off on somebody, you totally, you'll hear some hate speech. And being that I've been to 2 different prisons in my life, well, actually more than that through transfers, but 2 different times, I can say that, yeah, hate speech absolutely exists. Yet at the same time, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be allowed to say it. It just means that you should be allowed to say what you want in your own forum, and that nobody should be forced to listen to you. But if you have people that want to listen to it, then they should be allowed to. I believe in freedom of speech. I also believe that people have the right to walk away. Unlike that crazy lady in the supermarket screaming at that dude that she's trying to save him while calling him motherfucker. You guys see that one on YouTube or on Facebook? That shit is hilarious. I'm trying to save you. The rapture's coming, motherfucker. That shit is hilarious. Bonsai Bros, absolutely not. Fire agate is not a type of opal. It is similar, but the light is from reflection instead of refraction. And agate is way harder, has no water content in it, and will not like crack or expand or any of that. Like, it's not heat sensitive almost at all. I mean, at a certain point, it will blow up, but but it's definitely not like it's not opal. It's not considered an opal either. It's definitely considered an agate. And not to sound like rough or anything, but compared to actual the amount of opal that's on the planet, there's way more opal on the planet than there is fire agate. But as far as agate's concerned, there's probably way more agate on the planet than there is actually just opal. So Justin Hale is right. Just as hard and durable as any other chalcedony. Absolutely correct. Which is part of the reason it's such a neurotic pain in the ass to carve and get it just right, unless you're like super experienced with the stuff. Which, with how long I've had this stuff, I should be way more experienced than I am. I haven't spent near enough time with it as I should have. But I saved the majority of my stuff. I sold off a lot of amazing fire agate, yet I still have a lot of amazing fire agate. I've just gotten done processing the majority of the fire agate at the new house I've been at, because they have a fantastic garage where they work on their race cars for dirt track racing. And so I've been able to run a vibrating tumbler 24 hours a day pretty much. And I just run it with agate against agate, and it cleans it all up, gets all the rock off of it, and exposes some of it. I'm sure I have some breakage. I've seen some here and there, but I don't think I have enough to where it matters, because the agate is so legitimately tough. It's so close. Like when I look at it like this now, I can see colors almost on the whole body. Whoops, my eyes are getting in front of the camera, or my glasses are. It's so close. It's so close. I'm almost ready to move up. I totally could have done this with a 600 instead of a 12 Nova point. Especially since I'm absolutely convinced that with using mineral oil instead of water, that the burr is not near as abrasive. I'm 100% convinced that it's not quite as abrasive as it would be if I was using water instead of mineral oil. Yeah, Dakota, that's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. There's actually two videos of that chick, and she's doing the same thing to two different dudes. And that lady's obviously mentally deranged, and or has some other mental disability, psychological issues, and she has Tourette's too. Like that, she absolutely has Tourette's. Like she's half the time when she's cussing like that, she's meaning the word she's saying, yet at the same time, there's times where you can tell like she's not meaning to be saying like motherfucker and shit eater or whatever else she's saying. Like these are just words that are popping out in lieu of other words. Like that chick, she's the problem with America. She's a perfect representation of the biggest problem with America. The biggest problem with America is that we don't have mental health facilities for people, and people shouldn't be put in jails because they have mental issues or disorders. At the same time, they should be able to get help, and it shouldn't cost them the kind of money it costs to get a freaking psychologist in this country. Oh, it's getting so close. That tail is really starting to show it. I can see the whole tail, all color, all the way until I get to there, and then it's at an odd angle. But it's like it's so close. This live stream has gone better than I had hoped with the angle of the camera and it being way behind me and it being a really good camera. Like the visuals, the way everything looks, it's way better than being on my phone, man. Damn it, Jason, you're gonna make me get up just to put a space in between the FU and the rest of it, and then type that again so I don't have to get up and go click the button. Because you're right, and I don't care if you say that word. Doesn't bother me none. We had one kid that was on here, and I'm pretty sure he went to bed now. It's all good, brother. You're right, though. The system is fucked. And then I hesitated to say it. Ha ha ha. So close. Oh, man. I might just want to take it to a 3,000 on that body soon. Except for this one section right here. Dakota's like, ha ha, I'm not in bed. I'm still here. He's a soldier like everybody else. It's so funny. That tail is really showing up great right now. Yeah, that tail is really showing up good. By the way, I went and watched Little Women the other day. If you have a daughter, go watch that movie with her. Take her to watch that movie. That movie was really well done. Like I was really impressed with it. It's gonna be a classic, probably like the other one was the classic that I don't think I ever saw the original Little Women. If there was another movie made about it, which there had to have been, because I know it's like an amazing book that's been out forever. But I had never read the book, and I went and saw it because it was the only movie in the theater that I hadn't seen, and I had some time to kill. And I was really impressed with that movie. It's great. Also, Just Mercy is another one that was a really great movie. But that's a great movie for a different reason. You can find out the whole story of Just Mercy by just doing research on the guy that the movie's about. Yet, I can't remember the actor's name, but there's a white dude in that movie, even though most of the cast is black, and he steals the frickin' show. He absolutely deserves an Oscar. It is the best acting job of encompassing a person into a character I've ever seen. Like, he did such a good job that it was only me and two black couples in the theater watching it. And when I came walking out, both the black couples were talking about what an amazing job the white dude did in portraying the character that he did. Like, he did such an amazing job. It was a fantastic movie, but the one dude, he just stole the damn show. So yeah, Just Mercy and Little Women, you should see those. Even if you got to wait till they come out on Netflix or whatever, both those movies are hella worth watching. Oh, it's so close. Get my glasses out of the way. Yes, Cheryl Atkins, we do. We need to find some wings. You're absolutely right. Dakota Coins, you haven't found me for a year because I haven't done Jack for a year. Like, not on YouTube. I've been just sort of living my life with my kids and hanging out with my beautiful dog and being in my own sort of personal misery. And then posting up videos of playing Fortnite and stuff like that, which were really horrible videos, especially since because of the way I was trying to post them and was live streaming them, it was messing up the ability to be able to game. So, uh, yes, we are totally on the same page. This is a butterfly body. It was naturally on the rock to be a butterfly body before I ever got it. And it was just like this, but it had some chalcedony on top. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. It was just like this, but it had some chalcedony on the top, and the bottom was way thicker. I cut a lot of the bottom away. Thank you, Jeannie. Jason, are you talking about my posts on Facebook weren't bad? Thank you, Cheryl. I made that video private for the moment and a couple of other videos private because I thought they might be hampering me back from being able to get a job because, like a sort of silly person that made his first ever, what the heck is the name of it? Resume. On my first resume, of course, I put YouTube creator on there. And then I was thinking about, well, maybe part of the reasons I've been to like 10 interviews and then they all went great. The interviews went great. And then I never got a call back after that. I was like, maybe they saw me like popping off on those guys and figured I couldn't handle customer service because I'm like, screaming at these assholes. But I was sort of triggered initially by my son talking about somebody calling the police on him. And if you knew my kids, like I'm one of those people that has amazing. I'm really lucky with the children that I have. Like I'm really, really, really lucky with the kids I have. Well, dude, 14, a job, and you're in honors classes, man. Like, stick with those honors classes and get the best possible education that you can because it'll really help you in life. It really, really will. I wish somebody would have focused me on that when I was younger because I thought that, people that were doing good at school were the stupid ones. And obviously, I was the stupid one. And now I have two kids that have all honors classes, and one of them is already published and he's about to graduate. And it's a really big deal to for your future to be able to have the things that society expects you to have. So I would definitely encourage you to keep focused on those honor classes and be able to get a degree in whatever you want to be doing. Because I mean, if you love geology, if you love rocks and stuff like that, it's geology degrees, you can do a lot of things as a geologist. There's a lot more than just necessarily digging in rocks. I mean, building roads, they need geologists, and for buildings to go up in certain areas, they use geologists. So, you know, follow your path, but get that education, man. And education is a serious, important thing. I mean, I educate myself more as an adult now than I ever did as a young kid. And I really blame that on the fact that the people that I was around as a young kid made it seem like being funny and cool and acting out was better for life than being somebody who was focused on what could benefit them as an adult when I was a young person. I had no thought process of that stuff at all. Why? Okay, you guys can't put three dots. If you put three dots, it blocks you like you said something really negative. It blocks you like you said the word ass or dick because apparently those have to be authorized too. I got you, Cheryl. No reason that statement you said should be blocked. It's just like, oh, they put three dots. They must be saying something mean. Like three periods. Yeah, Jason has a really good point on there. Always think outside of the box as well. Never let anybody tell you can't do things. And I actually have one thing to add to that. When people tell you can't do something, use that as fuel to be able to do it in the best way possible because it's small minded people that don't see the vision that other people have, and all they can think about are the roadblocks that'll keep people from accomplishing things they would like to accomplish, whereas the people that accomplish things don't see all the roadblocks. They only see the way to make their thing a reality, and that's a way bigger deal than seeing all the roadblocks. Good planning helps you create the things that you want to create, yet if you only focus on the things that'll keep you from getting the things that you want, then you'll never have the things that you want. And I don't just mean like things like a freaking PlayStation and an Xbox. I'm thinking about like, things that you'd like to do and like, going to freaking Australia and digging for black opal. I mean, everybody will tell you it's so expensive. People die down there. Man, you're never going to make it to Australia. And those are all people that are never going to do anything with their lives except for tell other people what they can't do. You're 14, man. You got a lot of road ahead of you. Bonsai Bros, you think I'm ready for the 3000? I've been working on the 12 this whole time. Oh no. I don't think it's quite ready for the 3000 yet. I think I still got a little bit too much brown. I think I should have started with a 6 soft instead of going to the 12. Yeah, it's not quite ready for the 3000 yet. It's this section right here, it's too much brown with the streak running through it, and then this body up here. I don't think it's quite ready for the 3000 yet. Like there's some sections that are, like down here on this tail, on that edge, that's totally ready for the 3000. See how bright that green is compared to everything else? I'm not going to lose that brightness on the 3000. Like I'd really have to work it as long as I don't, angle it anymore. I want to get that sort of brightness on the rest of it, and then I think it's totally ready for the 3000, because for me it goes 1200, 3000, then the final polish with a cerium oxide. I don't have any aluminum, but I totally have cerium oxide. Oh, I don't think I have cerium oxide here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to go through all my stuff. I think the cerium oxide is at my X's, or not like going to be X. I think I need to work the center of this body a little bit more, even down on that tail, and get that green and the purples to where they're showing up a little bit better. If I move to the 3000 now, there's no way I'm getting this done. Hell, I don't even know what time it is. Let me grab my phone real quick. Ah, shit. I'll tell you the truth, guys. It's way later than I thought it was. Bonsai says buy some new cerium. Yeah, dude, she's making my life hell, to tell you the truth. But there's nothing I can do about it right now. I actually have one person that's in my vicinity that finally sees her games for what they are, and it's really helped me out a lot recently. My great aunt is really more like my mother than my great aunt. Although her sons and her grandsons really don't like that part. They think I'm like an interloper. But tell you the truth, it's like 15 minutes from what should be my shutting down time. But I'm gonna go a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I'm gonna edit a video, and then maybe I'll even do a live stream too. Maybe I'll be able to get 2 different kinds of videos up. I'm looking at some of the Dakota. It's only 10 here in Cali. Yeah, you're in California. Did you say Riverside? Is that where you're at, or somebody else say Riverside? Where are you at in California, Dakota? Jason's all my kids are asleep. Woohoo! Sonoma County. Is that Southern Cali? Northern Cali? Is it a nice 70 degrees where you're at right now? I was Mark Reach that said Riverside. Yeah, my plan is to be out in Riverside next winter. Northernish. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's your weekend. Saturday and no homework. Or the homework's already done. 49 degrees where you're at. No, yeah, it's not that cold out here. We've been in like the high 50s the last few days. Usually it's about 70 degrees out here this time of year. I have to go take my shower still before I go to bed. It's almost midnight here. Using too much pressure. It's starting to strain on my wrist. I can't be here tomorrow. Work. I'm taking time off until summer because I can't handle it. I haven't talked to friends in months. Hey, Calico, what year in school? Second grade? I don't understand what you mean, Mark Reish. I don't understand the actual question. What year did I stop in school? That can't be the question. What year is my kids in school? I got one in college, one that's a senior, one that's going to be a freshman next year, and one that's going into 7th grade next year. I think we went to school to get her. You think we went to school together? Because I never went to school to get her. That's a good question, Bonsai Bro. The name Calico, Dakota Chips is a freshie. The name Calico, I made it up actually. I made it up off of my favorite video game system, and I changed the name a little bit as sort of an homage to a guy that made the best CD in the mid 90s that was a rave CD. And I end up playing at parties with the guy like 4 or 5 times, and he was a dick all 4 or 5 times that we played at parties together. I opened up for him, and he's just a rude guy. He's not that rude anymore because he's not top of the heap like he was when I met him. But when I was meeting him, he was top of the heap, and it was DJ Kioki out of New York City. And he made a CD, which I still recommend this CD today. It's called Disco Death Race 2000, and it is an amazing CD. And I was totally in love with this guy's music until I ended up playing at parties with him. But it was the CD that really, really made me want to have more to do with electronic music. And so I didn't know how to spell Coleco the way that the old video game system was spelled. And now that I know how it's spelled, it doesn't spell Coleco anyways. It spells Colico. But I changed it and I added a K in the middle because I knew it was all C's. And so I made up the name Coleco, and there was nothing about it online anywhere when I first came up with the name. And then all of a sudden, after I'd been putting out CDs and I'd had the name for a little while, I started noticing there's a bunch of other people popping up with the name. So I don't know how other people got the name, but I originally made it up with a K from Kioki, and the Coleco is how I would have spelled it. Although, like my buddy Gene Manson in Seattle, Washington, or Everett, Washington, he says, "Dude, it's not Coleco anyways. It's Calico, a duh." Which he's right. It is Calico, but I've always said Coleco. Well, I think I'm going to end up finishing this tomorrow night on live stream because the job that I'm getting, I'm supposed to be working nighttime, unfortunately, guys. I'll be working nights. And I don't think I'm going to finish this today. I mean, I could give it a 3000 polish right now, but there's only a couple areas. Is it really popping with color the way I want it to? Whoops, I'm not on camera. Let me clean it up. I know if I were to give it water and hit it with a 3000 for a couple of minutes, it'll have a full polish, but I know it's still not where I want it to be. I'm going to do that, though. I'm going to put a 3000 on it and hit it with water for a couple of minutes because it's way, the burrs are way more aggressive with water than with mineral oil. Oh, where's my... There it is. And now that I figured out the whole live streaming thing and how I can have this all set up, I'll make sure that in the descriptions tomorrow I have links to the Etsy store and stuff like that. And hopefully I'll have more stuff in the Etsy store tomorrow. Which, when I say more stuff, I'm generally meaning fire agate. Crazy lace wings, he says. Ooh, that purple on that edge really spoke up right there. If I'm going to make it to my great aunt's church tomorrow, I'm definitely going to have to go to bed soon. I have to take my shower before I get in bed. Oh, wrong way. That way. I have to move my water a little bit so it's dripping over the right area. That's better. Oh, got to watch that thumb on the, the spindle, and watch that edge too, taking off part of the burr. Got this thing sound like a motorbike right now, super speed. Problem with dragonflies is they have see-through wings. Butterflies have big wings with lots of colors, which means more gemstones or more fire agate. Little fire agate chips of color. I actually have a bunch of those. I'll bet you it already has the shine right now. Let me make sure I turn this towel to a different side. Focus. It definitely has the shine. Not all quite perfect yet. Colors are there, but they're not all there at once, which is really what I was hoping for. But it's there as it moves. I think you're right about that, Jeannie. I think it would make a nice brooch. I sort of like necklaces, but a brooch would work too. I didn't see who's leaving, so I'm assuming one of them is Bonsai. Bye, Bonsai. Bye, Mark. Bye, whoever else is leaving. I'm going to be out here in a few, too. It's midnight where I'm at. I got to go to church in the morning with my great aunt. I don't have to, but I choose to. Although I have to say, I know that pastor's never going to watch this, and my great aunt's never going to watch this. She's the worst freaking pastor I've ever freaking heard, man. I tell you what, like, she does not do enough research at all. And I mean, it's all in the Bible and stuff, but she's like the most unrehearsed, unread person that talks about the Bible I've ever heard of in my whole life, that I've ever seen. I've been to a lot of churches in my life. I've had a lot of religious influences, which is sort of why my belief system is the way it is also. But I tell you what, man, I've never had a pastor that is so unrehearsed and just has to go back and look at their Bible about what they're going to be talking about so much. I think it's sort of funny. I have to keep from snickering sometimes. Yeah, at the same time, it's a very small organization. Shouldn't even say organization, because the organization they're a part of is actually very large. It's a Methodist church. But like the most people I've ever seen in a room is like 35 people maximum ever. This area right here that has this divot, teach you guys a warning that I wish I would have heeded myself. So this area right here that has this divot on it, it was the first area, because I was working this whole piece at once, and it showed up with this really bright green, and it was really bright, and the rest of it was not at the color yet. And I was like, that must be just like a little patch. And so I decided to just keep working the whole stone. And that was a mistake, man. When that really bright section of color showed up, I should have worked around that really bright section of color and worked everything else and not touch that really bright section of color, because now it's become that it would have been raised, but it would have been really bright color. And then I would have worked the rest of this down to the color. And instead, it's probably going to be bronze or brown with the rest of the color around it. And it's disappointing to me. Like, it probably won't be that big of a deal once the stone is done. Like, there's still a little bit of color in that divot right there, but it's not uniformed and it's not as bright as that patch. It was a patch of green that was just emerald green, and it was only on this one sliver, and it wasn't anywhere else yet. With it this zoomed in, it's sort of difficult for me to keep it on camera. This is what it looks like dry right now. So it's getting there. It's almost there. Let me authorize your thing. Apparently, the word religion, too, because that's the only thing I can see in Dakota's statement that would, no, religion, evangelical, and atheist. Like, it tried to not let his comment be up because those are in it. It's insane. Yeah, Dakota, that's pretty much how I think too. As an evangelical atheist, I would like to start an atheist church in this area because there's so many other churches. At the same time, I really am on the I'm not on the there is nothing. I'm sort of on the this consciousness ends and then this life force goes to something else, or even if it's a tree or a butterfly or another human being or a dog or a bear or a whatever. I'm definitely more of a believer in reincarnation than I am in anything else. I just believe in energy too much, and I'm not like a spiritual healer type energy guy, Reiki and all that jazz, because most of the people I've ever met in my life that are like really believing in Reiki and that do Reiki, the people I've met that do Reiki are some of the most biggest horseshit salesmen I've ever met in my life. But once again, it doesn't bother me that other people believe in other things that I don't believe in. It doesn't bother me at all. Yet I can spot somebody trying to sell me a lie really easily because I've been around so many liars in my life. And two people I know specifically that do Reiki, they're full of shit. Like, they're straight, they're con artists as far as I'm concerned. Cheryl Atkins is like, don't catch the coronavirus. Yeah, we're looking at a worldwide epidemic, girl. This is the stuff we saw in the movies when they were talking about Ebola and stuff like that. But Ebola, you couldn't catch Ebola from anybody that didn't look like they were already sick. The coronavirus is bad because people will be sick for weeks and not know they're sick, and that's when they're contagious. Like, this can be really, really bad. I completely agree with you. As soon as we have like a couple of hundred known cases inside the United States, it's time to go to Sam's Club, buy an extra freezer, load up everything you can, and then never leave your house and kill your spouse if they come down with it. That's a joke for anybody listening in the future. It's just a joke. Like, yeah, this is looking bad. Approximate time for tomorrow's video, Jeannie, I have no idea right now because of the way stuff's been going. I'd hate to give you a time and then either not be there or, have something else going on. I'll try and make a post of I'll try and make a post of something throughout the day, giving everybody a heads up. So make sure that you've already subscribed and that you hit that bell notification. And actually, if I want to be able to edit this video later at all, it tells me I need to stop the video before it gets to 3 hours. But in all honesty, I'm never going to go back and edit this thing on YouTube's editor. Yeah, right. Yeah, that right. It was the word religion, wasn't it? Yeah, religion will get your comment flagged. But he didn't just say religion. He said religion, atheist, and evangelical all at once. And I mean, at least 2 out of 3 of those are Trump trigger words. Like people that hate Trump are like, "Oh my God!" Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan, but I sure as hell am not I'm not a fan of any politician because I believe that they are all public servants. So I think being a fan of a politician goes against like the whole thought process of what the politicians are supposed to be working for our best interests. And I say that because my great aunt is she's a total Trump fan, even though he embodies absolutely none of the things that she actually does. She's like a giving person that is concerned with helping others that are downtrodden. Like, I mean, he doesn't embody any of that stuff. So, but she's a total fan. She's a 100% a fangirl of Donald Trump, and like I don't see how you can truly be. I understand like agreeing with a politician and wanting to have a certain politician in office, but I don't agree with the fan idea thought process. Like that's like goes against everything for me for some reason of a politician. Like if you're a total fan of somebody that's a politician, then it's hard to like hold them accountable for any of their crap. All right, I'm going to give this 5 more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to close it down, even though there's 17 of you in the room, and I'd love to keep going, but I have to go and get a shower, and I can't just like get out of the shower and go to bed. Then I have to read for like 30 minutes before I can get my mind to slow down enough to go to sleep. And then I'm going to wake up 6 or 7 times throughout the night because I'm going to dream about some crap I'd rather not think about at all. I mean, the other night, like 2 nights ago, I sat there and had dreams, and I woke up all night and kept going back to the same dream to where I was having a circular argument with my wife, an argument that was going nowhere but the same place it began over and over and over again. And I must have woken up 6 times that night, I swear. And every time I fell back asleep, I was in the same stupid ass argument. Like, what kind of bad dreams are those? Resort Dog, my man, you just got back from the bog. Well, you're 2 hours earlier than I am. Everybody, Resort Dog is the guy I was talking about earlier. That dude is super knowledgeable about opals, especially about the Virgin Valley. And if you're wanting some rainbow obsidian, he would probably be a guy that could help you. Oh, no, dang it. I got to redop this thing now. Resort Dog, do you have any rainbow obsidian? We had some people looking for rainbow obsidian earlier in the room. Shane Karabi. Resort Dog says yes. If the person that needed rainbow obsidian is still in the room, you should contact Resort Dog. Resort Dog, do you have a good way to be contacted? You got an email address you don't mind giving up to the whole public, or do you got a public contact information, not a phone number or anything? You have an online sales thing? Hold on, let me make sure that's okay. Let me post that to show. Got it. I authorized that. So if anybody wants some rainbow obsidian, you can contact Resort Dog at his email address right there. And this guy I vouch for. You would not hear me do this unless I absolutely trust this person as to he will keep his word. He will send what he says he's going to send. If you see pictures of it, then that's what you're going to get. I've spent a lot of time with him personally. He is one of my favorite people in the Virgin Valley, him and our mutual friend down there. But I've only got a couple more minutes here, guys, and then I got to shut it down so that I can go and get to bed and get to some sleep. But I'm telling you, I still have too much brown on this thing. Let me shut the water off real quick and dry this, because I know I have a nice shine on it. I do have a nice shine on it. And the colors are showing up, but they're still peeking through. Like that, the neck of it right there, that green is really on all the time. And then like on this side, this one edge right here, like at all angles, well, unless the reflection's not hitting it bad, that green is really poking through. Like it's really there. Like that's how it should be across this whole body. That's, there I am. I want it to be like that across this whole body. I mean, that blue, that purple is really showing up in that section. It's really running down the tail. But it's not constant. It's not everywhere all the time, no matter what. And I think it can be like that. I really do. Yet once again, this piece of fire agate is from the Oatman area. This is off of Don's claim. This came out of his spot that he was digging right next to the highway, almost underneath the highway, that the BLM was like backfilling and getting pissed at him about. But he told me when I talked to Don not too long ago, did I talk to Don? I didn't talk to Don. Maybe it was through an email. I can't remember if I had emailed him or we had contacted some, but I had also talked to somebody else that said he was on some really great color and that he had a new hole and the color was constantly there. Like but it took, excuse me, it took that man years to find the right hole. And he has a lot of claims, and there's a lot of claims in that area. But I tell you what, it looks like a much better stone than it did a little while ago. Resort Dog says he has an Etsy store as Swordfish Mining with almost nothing in it, but he takes requests. So if you need rainbow obsidian, you can hit Resort Dog up. My buddy will totally take care of you. He's good, honest people. And if you ever plan on going to the Virgin Valley, you should definitely hit him up for one of his tours, especially since they pretty much made rock hounding with tools or any sort of digging illegal in the Virgin Valley, which I plan on making a video about that. That sort of pisses me off. And I talked a little bit about that in one of my recent videos. Hi, Sherry Spear. Hi, Sherry Spear. You caught me right when I'm getting ready to close it down. I really appreciate you being here, though, and I thank everybody for their thumbs ups. Let me see if I can get this a little bit closer. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. See, it's still too much browns, man. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. Focus. There you go. Thank you. It's a really great camera. It's a long ways away, though. I want that color to be on all the time instead of be like flashy as I move it. There we go. But I came a long ways tonight. I'm going to finish it tomorrow. I'm just trying to keep it on the camera when it's zoomed in that much. It'd be easier if I was like right in front of the lens, but I'm not. The camera's over the back of my right shoulder and it's behind me by about 3 feet on a table. But it ended up making for a really great live stream. I'm super surprised with how well this went. The quality of it is fantastic as long as you guys have your quality set properly on your YouTube app. You should be seeing it as good as I was this whole time, and I was seeing it pretty damn good. You know how I say it at the end, right? I love you for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everybody and all the time you spent, and I really appreciate the you know what? Let me back this thing up and I can just talk directly to you guys. Well, wrong way. Hey, there we go. How's it going, people? So I appreciate you guys for being here, and I really appreciate. Oh, I need the mic though. That's the wireless mic I was talking about. This thing is awesome. Some of the best $600 I ever spent. So I really appreciate the community aspect and the community vibe and stuff that was going on tonight. I appreciate everybody communicating with each other in respectful ways and making friends and rekindling old friendships from when I used to do live streams a lot more. Tonight felt really awesome, and I really appreciate everybody and all of their input that they had inside of it. I will be back tomorrow night regardless of whether I get another video made, because tonight was so freaking awesome. And I wasn't able to finish that stone yet. It's not good enough yet. Like it can be better, and I want it to be better. And so I'm going to be back tomorrow night because everybody was so freaking awesome. So I love you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Right? I'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Good night. Now I got to walk across the room and turn you off. It's sort of awkward now.